Are you ready to receive your desired reality right here, right now? Seriously, check in with yourself. What is the believability that that desire can appear right now as your manifest reality? Would you actually expect it to be here now? If you really honestly check in with yourself. Because if you were genuinely ready for it to appear, then you would know it as your direct experience being here now, even if you didn't see it, even if your circumstances didn't reflect it, you would know it right here, right now, as being your reality. And that's what I want to do with you. I want to go on a journey right now to align with that frequency, with that version of you, and that reality right here, right now, to the extent that you feel and believe and know without a doubt that it is done. And so, no matter what it is that you desire, no matter what it is that you want, if you let go of the idea that it has to take time, that it requires effort and hard work, and anything that you need to do in order to deserve it, if you drop all of those old paradigms, limiting beliefs, ideas of lack, of linearity, and you just eject yourself into pure possibility. And if you were to play with me right now in the imagination of your true self, what would it feel like to be that version of you? What would it be like in order to be in that reality? What are the qualities of the frequency of that version of you that is already experiencing that? What are some of the things that you're noticing? How do you feel? What are you doing? How are you interacting with others? What are your habits? What are your day-to-day choices? How are you relating to all of these things and to yourself? What is that posture that you have in life? What is that sense of self that you wake up into, that you go to bed feeling? What are those qualities energetically, emotionally, mentally? Can you start to feel into those right now? If it's money, what does that abundance feel like? What would be the version of you in the reality of abundance right now? Thinking about the trip that you want to go on, imagining the different things that you can do and buy and experience. What about that partner? What would it feel like to be in love right now? What would that connection be like? What would you be doing? Where would you be going? How would you be feeling? In any case that you can imagine, you have immediate access into the feeling, which is the fundamental reality of that manifestation. And in accessing that feeling, you start to embody the frequency. And by embodying the frequency, you actually shift into that subtle reality. You can call it the subconscious reality. I like to call it the mental reality because it is the energetic, ethereal, emotional, and imaginative reality, which is the subtle representation of that external, physical, material world. And if you can start to imagine those qualities, the aspects of that subtlety within that mental reality, and then let go of that rigid expectation, the insistence that it needs to show up. If you can detach yourself from the circumstance and the physical expression and be utterly fulfilled in that mental imaginative realm where it is already felt to be here now. And you give it back to the meta reality. If you give it up to the higher faculty of your higher mind, to God, to your higher self, if you relinquish it from your subconscious into the superconscious, and you live in the faith, in the feeling, in the knowing that it is done by virtue of your feeling, by the embodiment of that frequency, and you live in that end, you assume that feeling of that desired reality already fulfilled. And then you're receptive to the inspiration. You're sensitive to the intuition. You're open to the intelligence that is guiding you, and you act on those impulses. You take that inspired action, knowing that it is coming from that reality, from that version of you, from that future self. It is literally the breadcrumb trail that is leading you from that reality into that reality. And you're not even insisting or expecting on any part of that journey that it needs to be here now, because you're so utterly fulfilled in the feeling, in the frequency, because you've assumed that inner reality through your imagination. And so you get your cake and you eat it too, because the feeling is what you're seeking anyway, in the partner, in the money, right? It's the quality of what that symbol allows you to feel that is what you actually want. And so if you start from the end of that subtle reality being here and now as the manifestation of your experience, that internal shift with that feeling being fulfilled, and you give it back to the meta, you give it back, give it away, detach, and you allow yourself to be guided on that path of least resistance toward the physical, externalized, manifest reality, which is inevitable when you hold fast to that feeling. Then you have played the game from the level of the aligned creator, which sees the material reality as but an illusion, a reflection of the mental reality, which is your internal vibrational state of being. And once given back to the true meta reality and detached and allowed to flow, to be in alignment with who you truly are, then it has no choice but to reflect back to you the physical externalized experience and appearance of that internal state as your outer reality and world. And that is how powerful you are as the aligned creator of your reality. Because this is a game of frequencies. It's not a game of effort. It's not a game of doing. It's not a game of anything that has to be acted out in the material world. Because the material world is but a realm of effects. And in the realm of effects, action is but another effect. So to think that you need more action in order to create a different effect is trying to change an effect with another effect. It makes no sense, because the causal plane of those effects is the mental plane. That mental reality of your imagination, which once aligned with the feelings and the qualities, with that construct of that blueprint of that reality already being impressed into the subconscious of that mental reality. And once given back to the truth of who you are, allowed to flow and unfold by God's timing, by your higher self's way, which is the path of least resistance, which doesn't require you to take on more than you want to expend your energy in a way that is depleting, exhausting. It doesn't require you to work hard and struggle. It is simply the unfolding the reflecting of that state of contentment, of satisfaction, of love, of joy, of freedom, of possibility that you have assumed to be your state right here and right now. And how knowingly, faithfully, with conviction can you hold on to that state? And when fear crops up, or when doubt creeps in, or when the imposter starts to shake your reality from the inside, meet it with compassion, face it with courage, and let go of it with conviction. To realign again in the state of your wish fulfilled, of your desired reality already here and now, as the frequency of your embodied creator. And that alignment as the aligned creator is your birthright. It is the creativity of your true self. And when you choose boldly, wholly, that now, then it is already done.